We'll be starting soon, everybody. Um, I'm just pulling up information about this movie so I can read it for you guys. But yeah, we're starting soon. Welcome back to not the cinema condition. Why am I going to say cinema condition? Welcome to the Nerdcore podcast, the podcast that reviews the movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 353. And we are here for our Saturday morning review with none other than none other than the wonderful young Yoda.
Yeah. Okay there, buddy. You okay?
Yeah,
You okay right there?
Yeah, I know. First, I introduced you as cinema condition. Yeah, I missed you guys. Haven't seen you guys in a while since last week. But what's it called? This is a
Do we need to do a do-over? Do we need a mulligan?
Live. Why would I do a do-over?
A mulligan.
It's live for the patrons. Why would I be doing a do-over? Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. That's literally
I'm supposed to be the drunk one on the show.
Yeah. No, it looks like you're actually the sober one today.
No,
but
a little bit.
Yeah, dude. Oh God, man, that was not my finest hour. I'm so sorry. Let me go ahead and reintroduce myself. This is the Nerdcore podcast. The podcast reviews movies and talks that nerd shit, and we are here to review our Saturday morning review for you guys. It's live and early for patrons only. Today we are discussing the second pick. We did last week. We did Uncorked, and then this week we are doing the 2015 Hungarian film that I chose, Son of Saul, that I've never seen and Brad's never seen either. And we shouldn't be, laughing, but we're just here. I'm being a dumbass because I'm having like mess ups like here and there, but it happens. But yeah, I'm here to host a show alongside my wonderful co-host, young Yoda, and now we're back in action. That's better. How are you doing, bro?
Okay, pull me up. Just pull me up.
I don't want to pull you out.
After another depressing choice by Raul in the movie cinema takes, I'm sad.
I need to watch cartoons after this. Dude. I'm gonna go watch a regular show.
What is with you and make me watch sad shit?
Dude, to be fair, Brad, I'm feeling just as sad as you.
I made you watch Uncorked. Come on now.
I'm so sorry, man. I wish I could have. I wish I could have picked something happier, but I knew it wasn't gonna be happy. First of all, I knew it wasn't gonna be happy. But at least the sadness is being felt from both parties this time. Because like when we would watch Beautiful, like I'm there, like yeah, I'm kind of sad, but like damn, like I'm really appreciative of this movie.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The mom died in my movie. Okay, sad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sad about
the opening of this movie was with a gas chamber with like 100 people.
Yep.
Very sad.
Yeah. So I mean, none other than I think we need to get into this movie, but I'm sad too, and I'm gonna watch cartoons after this, and I'm gonna put on a fucking regular show or Adventure Time to
go drink heavily.
Yeah. Just like I said, and we're being kind of dummy right now, but this movie is a really serious movie, and I think that you guys, I think this is required viewing for basically any history class if you ever, for at least the upper level history classes, of course, with parental, having permission from parents to be showing this film to kids.
I mean, I needed to get permission from my parents. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So I think that this movie is really required. I think this is really, once again. So I have a story. Yesterday we were doing our Discord movie night that I do every Tuesday or Wednesday on our Discord server, And we had Michelle in there, and we were talking about, Luis had gone into this whole conversation about how he loves horror and how he really likes movies about cults and stuff, and because it's so interesting to him. And I was saying how, if you really do want to watch a horror film, you'll watch Come and See, by Elam Kilmov, 1986 film about basically the atrocities done in the East by the Nazis. And he was like, no, I can't see that. First, he thought it was like a possessed film or something. I was like, no, man, this isn't a horror. Like, this is just horrors because of what's going on in the film. And then he was like, oh, like, yeah, no, I that's too much for me. And then Michelle goes, I want to watch it. This looks interesting. And I was like, oh, I got to mentally prepare myself to screen Come and See, because like I said, I've never actually completely watched Come and See. I've seen like clips of Come and See. And from the clips I've watched and I've read about it and I've read reviews and everything, I'm not really mentally prepared to put myself to Come and See. After watching this movie, I might just scream Come and See on Monday or like Tuesday.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But for Michelle, I just gotta say, women are mentally stronger than men.
100%. 100%.
It's true. I mean, even though like we say women can be more emotional, they handle their emotions
women
far
are way
better.
Stronger than us, dude. Way stronger than us. I am 100% with you there, and you guys can call me a simp, whatever. I don't care. But it's 100% true.
I mean, after watching this, I just wanted to punch a wall for a little while. That's how I was feeling on
I was
this.
like, my heart was really heavy throughout this movie. I was on the brink of crying, but I was in front of my mother and my brother and her and his girlfriend.
You know what was bad on this? So I guess spoiler alert, real quick.
Hold on, yeah, let's just officially get into the review. So if you've never I'm sorry. If you've never seen Son of Saul, then please click off here. If you do not care if about spoilers and keep on going. If you do care, this is your point to get off. Your spoiler warning is in effect in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't have my iPad plugged in, but here, let me introduce.
Laugh.
Yeah, no, I don't want to laugh right now, dude. I really don't. This broke me, bro. This really did break me. Just Brad, like, just what's it called? Keep your thought on you. I'm gonna introduce this real quick. Son of Saul is a 2015 Hungarian drama film directed by Laszlo Nemes in his feature directorial debut and co-written by Nemes and Yara Royer. It is set in the Auschwitz concentration camp during World War II and follows a day and a half in the life of Saul Auslander, played by Geza Rohrig. I'm going to butcher these names, guys. A Hungarian member of the Sonderkommando.
You know, Ada is laughing at you in Swedish.
Yeah, Sonderkommando, which is supposed to be the Jewish people who were chosen by the Nazis to enact, like, most of the work, and then they were executed later.
Like months later,
later.
Yeah, we'll get into talking more about that.
The film premiered at the 2015 Cannes Film Festival, where it won the Grand Prix. It was also shown in the special presentations section of the 2015 Toronto International Film Festival. The film won the award for Best Foreign Language Film at the 88th Academy Awards. It is the 9th Hungarian film to be nominated for the award and the first since István Szabo's Harusen in 1988. Wow, I'm terrible at this. It is the second Hungarian film to win the award, the first being Szabo's Mephisto in 1981. It also won the Golden Globe for Best Foreign Language Film, becoming the first Hungarian film to win the award.
I don't know who Szabo is, but I think we need to
watch
him on a month. Put him on a month, man.
You're telling 2 years back to back. Well, not back to back, but in the same decade. Wow. I wanted to check. Okay, so the budget is 1.5 million euros. So that's got to be like a small.
That's a low ass budget for this.
And I don't want to say it shows in a bad way because it's.
I didn't really see it. Like I thought this had a lot more money into it.
Well, dude, and I'm gonna bring this up because a lot of these scenes, like, there's so many bodies in them. I'm pretty sure they reused cast members' bodies in these.
Oh, they had to. Like, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, of course, but you also look at the lighting. Like I want to say it's mostly what's it called, natural light in this movie.
A lot of
Uh,
it, yeah. Well, a lot of it's outdoors.
yeah. So 1.9 million euros in U.S. dollars are $2,136,303.
This movie looks great.
Looks great for 2 million budget, bro.
The cinematography looks great, not the
Yeah.
subject matter. I'm not.
Yeah. No. Wow, dude. Like the budget, like well, if you remember, Get Out, I believe, was around 2 million as well. So, once again, another showing of how like the money compared to now to back then. Like if this would have been made in like the 80s or the 90s, 2 million would have looked really rough. And here, like now in present day 2020, 2 million really does get you like a pretty damn good picture. It just depends where you allocate the budget to. So, yeah, let's go again. I want to go with you because you have that thought that you wanted to bring up. But what was your thoughts on Son and Saul?
So my thought on this is that from the very opening, you can just tell this man is broken, and you don't really understand why. Like we know the history of this. We're not dummies. We've read the books. We've heard the stories of the tragedies. But this movie, you don't really reflect on it until like they're like, yeah, you're gonna have tea after this. The Nazis saying all this shit, and it's like, just hang your clothes up. Remember your number on the hook, and then you're like, wait, no. And then you just following the main character just going through this, and his face, no emotion. It's gone. And you don't realize he's been doing this for 4 fucking months. Yeah. So this man it's gone. Like any humanity he had in, the Nazis just like beat it out of him. Stripped it out of him. Like mentally, he's gone. Really he's just a body. And that's really what you're doing. You're following a body. And a body who is holding on to just the slightest amount of hope of something. But once they've put those people into the gas chamber, and you hear the screams, and then the Nazis are like, go to the door, and you're just like, well,
yeah.
And then the next scene is them cleaning up the blood from them trying to get out. It's just like, oh, Jesus Christ. And this is the opening. This is the opening of a 2-hour movie.
Much, man. And it's like, so I was going to say, just incredible use of the sound design. It's like, wow, like you really kind of heard it literally is as if you yourself are right there and you're walking with Saul.
Yeah. And I got to thank the director. It got kind of tiresome at the hour and 30-minute mark, but I thank the director for the way he did the camera of focusing on Saul and only Saul, and everything else in the background is blurred.
Yeah.
Like, everything. Like for most of the movie, it's like this. And I thank the director for that in a way, because I didn't want to see people, being put into ovens, people being led or stripped down and being put into the gas chambers. Yeah. Had he shown all that, I don't know if I could have finished this movie.
Yeah, I think just the cries and screams were enough. I mean, you really you really didn't need to show the body at that point,
Well, and then the blurred stack of bodies.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to see that in full HD. Like,
yeah. Which that's
too much.
That's what Come and See decides to say, fuck, I'm going to show you it. But yeah. So I was not mentally prepared for what movie I chose. I knew I was recommended this movie by my friend AK, who has been on the Cinema Condition before, and he will be on the season finale of the Cinema Condition. But before that, I had searched up, movies about the Holocaust, because we've gotten, of course, Life is Beautiful is an incredible film about the Holocaust. Amazing movie, beautiful. But, there's also movies like The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, which can be a little bit more, it doesn't really have a hold about the events of the Holocaust. It's got this weird type of message that it sends out that is like, it's not an accurate, portrayal of what, those people went through. And and I was like, I want to find something that's like, that's real. And then I find this film, and I'm like, wow, like this sounds really interesting. So when then AK recommends it to me, he's like, dude, you're gonna cry with this movie. And I mean, and then so watching this movie, and I had this conversation with my friend Charlie on the episode on the Cinema Condition on Underground. Um, there's a lot of movies that you watch that they are probably in your top 100, top 10, top 5, and you don't ever have to watch them again. If we go up by like your favorite movie of all time should be the one that you rewatch the most, then Interstellar should be my favorite movie of all time.
And then Ikiru is mine.
Yeah, but Beautiful is my favorite movie of all time, and I've only seen Beautiful 3 times. Because I can't bring myself to watch Beautiful so many times. It's a movie that physically makes me ache, and it makes my heart weep so much. And I can only limit myself to so many viewings, but I know that that's why that movie is my favorite of all time.
And I gotta say, Ikiru is my favorite all time, but I always say there's a tie with it.
Yeah,
one that I can't watch that often. Like if I watch it once a year, that's crazy. It's Grave of the Fireflies, and it's the same fucking reason.
Yeah, and that's how I felt about like Underground when I watched it. Even though Underground is like really like interesting way of presenting basically a Serbian type of film about Yugoslavia and all that type of stuff. It has some comedy in there, but like overall the subject matter that Underground presents is so damn hard to consume because what these people had went through, and that's the way I felt about Son of Saul. 30 minutes into this movie, I knew I was watching a masterpiece.
But this movie doesn't give you a break though. That's like it just the hits keep on coming with this, which I mean, I can never know what went on in Auschwitz, but my thinking is every day was just that anxiety ridden of this could be the day I die, and that's really what you get from this film.
Yeah, and it just takes you literally through a whole day and a half. It does not stop. A whole day and a half. And I watched this movie and it's the same thing. I said, this is a masterpiece. It's not perfect. It's a masterpiece in the way that it presents the subject matter, that it tells its story, the cinematography, the directing, the editing. The editing is a little bit off. I'm gonna say that's probably one of my only complaints about this movie is the editing is a bit off. Some of those cuts were way too sudden for me, and I think that if you would have made this more of a one take in the way that Rope was, where like it would go into like this dark part, and then that's where you see the cut. And
that first part was a one take, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the first part of this film. Yeah. And that was a terrific shot right there. Like,
and if you kind of followed, and if you would have followed that by my means, by what I'm thinking, like if you would have followed that, to me, I could have said that we would just watch possibly a perfect movie. But I'm saying that this is a masterpiece, and I don't have to watch it again to know that this is a masterpiece. I don't want to watch this movie again. I'm going to put it in my letterbox as one of my one of my favorite movies of all time. I am going to wait until somebody chooses this for Cinema Condition, and after that, it's pretty much the last time I watch this movie because I'm not mentally and this is it's crazy because I'm a guy who really does love watching depressing movies because there's a sort of a catharsis to it. But this was something different. I cannot bring myself to ever watch this movie.
This one literally hurt.
This one hurt.
This is like physically just hurt. You get chest pains from this movie.
Just hearing them call the Jewish people it pieces. Well, not pieces. I'm sorry.
They did call them pieces. The bodies, they called them pieces.
Yeah. It pieces.
The whole sit down and write 70 names of people you don't need anymore with two of the guys cleaning right in front of you. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Scum, vermin. And the way that the Nazi soldier was making fun of his heritage's dance right there, and in like you said, Saul's face is just a face of a human that is
he's done,
and the only time he sees you see a smile on him is when he sees that kid, and he's like, well, there's still something out there, there's this kid who kind of came to me. He didn't, judge me for who I am. He smiled at me, and and he went on with his day instead of going to tell the SS about it.
Well, unfortunately, the Germans caught up with him anyway. So
the Germans caught up with him either way. But yeah, but that's this movie was so like I said, incredibly shot. I love how the concentration is the foreground. The background there's no need for it.
I mean, I thank the director for that, but about at the hour 30-minute mark, I was kind of tired of it. I just the out of focusness of it. It kind of hurt my eyes. I don't know how to explain it. I was just kind of tired of it.
I don't know if this would have. I don't know if this necessarily needed to be in 4:3. But I mean that's really a stylistic reason in anything. But yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I gotta agree with you, Ro, that this is a great film based on cinematography, based on story, based on all that, based on the acting. But at the same time, I'm never watching this again. I won't be the one choosing it for cinema condition. It's not.
No, somebody needs to choose it, and that'll be the last time I watch this movie. But unless, of course, I'm told to, screen it at like an event or something. If somebody does want me
then maybe I'll sit in on that just because that'd be cool to do a question and answer with people.
Yeah. I do want to read this. This is really interesting that I just found on Wikipedia. The film took 5 months of sound design. Human voices in 8 languages were recorded and attached to the original recording of the production. Sound designer Tamás Zanyi described the sound in the film as a sort of acoustic counterpoint to the intentionally narrowed imagery. The film is composed of 85 shots. Wow. 85 shots. If you were to that's crazy. 85 shots.
But that's not much, is it?
No. Yeah. This movie's an hour and 47 minutes. 47, I think. 83 shots is roughly would be an hour and 25 minutes of a movie.
Wow.
So some of those shots took longer to film. It was probably the one take.
And I mean there were a lot of one takes in this. Which I like I said, that opening one, just the one take going with it. That was I mean, subject matter I hated, but the one take beautifully
incredible, done. Man. Yeah, I would say that I think that this movie still would have had the power it had if it would have been like 1/6/9. For me, necessarily, at least if you're asking me, I don't think that you really needed the 4:3 aspect ratio in this movie. But either way, I mean, who am I to what's it called? Ask for something that has already been made. So
yeah,
it's just I think to me that the 4:3 it gets a little bit kind of claustrophobic, but in a sense,
I think that's the point. I think that's the point. Is they're not getting out of there, or that's the feeling they have.
And that's not a complaint by me and by any means, guys. I don't take points away from that. It's just something that I noticed. I think that in my eyes, I would not have made it, 4:3. But like I said, I think that it's just smart the way that the foreground is the concentration, the background, it's not needed because you already know what's going on, and you have to concentrate on these people who are interacting with Saul, who have all this hope, and that that they still seem after it's literally beaten out of them, they are forced to listen to their own people being burned and being gassed. They still somehow have a drive to fight against the Nazis when they leave the camp.
Yep. And then there's scenes in this you can actually get kind of a timeline on it, like the pits, like the scene with the pits. You can tell that's when because they're bringing in 3,000 Jewish families or Jewish members. You can tell that's when they invaded France because they start speaking French.
Yeah, it was like Monsieur.
Yeah. So you can tell you have a timeline on this too, which makes it even more real. And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's like we're not even at the end of the war yet. We're like literally in like 41.
And you know, a lot of these war movies that take place in here, you're kind of like just waiting. You're waiting for like the Russians or the Americans to bust in and save everyone, and you don't get that here.
No, you don't. It's just like Life is Beautiful. Spoiler alert for Life is Beautiful. What's it called when that tank with the American tank rolls up and you're like, oh, fucking thank God they're here to liberate them. Or like in Band of Brothers in the HBO series, like when they get to the camps and they see all the atrocities done, and you're like, well, at least they're here to liberate them, and at least they're here to help them out. And but here it's like, holy crap! It's literally the beginning of the war. There's
it's basically you have this showing of this much hope throughout the whole movie until the very end.
Yeah,
and then it's done.
And then what's it called when he meets Elle at the woman's camp, part of the camp, and where she recognizes him, and it's like throughout this movie, I never cared if the boy was Saul's son at all. I never cared.
I figured it wasn't.
No,
like, it got to a point where there's like, dude, you didn't have a son, and he's just like, I'm not here. I'm not here right now. This is what I got. Like, leave me be. Let me find a rabbi. I got a mission. This is what's keeping me alive at the moment.
Yeah, it's just like you want to do something like I was telling Brad, like you've been in this camp for 4 months, being forced to shove your own people into a gas chamber and then carry their lifeless corpse into an oven to be burned alive, and then you have to shovel those ashes into the water.
Oh, and then before that, you have to shovel the coals to stoke the fires.
Yes.
So
you literally have been absolutely ordered into the absolute genocide of these people. And you, at least when you get one chance to at least do something right by you and your people, then you're going to have to chase it, man. Doesn't matter if it's your son or not.
Well, and it gets to the point where he's so obsessed on it that they even say it that he's sacrificing the living for the dead.
Yeah, and in a way, I understand why they would kind of they would look down on Saul for that, because of course Saul should be looking forward to looking forward, so that way they can just rebel against the SS, get out of there, create the go with the Polish resistance. But also, like, Saul
he's broken,
and he sees one light there that he can do something right. He can do something right, and he wants to do it. And it's just, you really can't blame him at all.
No, not with the atrocities that was faced. I'm sure with the other prisoners didn't feel the same, because they were like, yo, we can totally get through this and, help a lot more people if we do this. But Saul he wasn't there. He was mentally not there. And they even pick on it, like, we're going to force you to fight. And he's just like, whatever.
Yeah. All right. So it's literally it. All I can kind of bring out about this movie. I said this is a really hard movie to talk about, but it's just like I told Brad, I can't even bring myself to watch Ivan's Childhood again. I can't. I cannot bring myself for that one.
I mean, I think Ivan's Childhood is the easier watch than this one.
100%.
By far, I think.
100%.
Because Ivan's Childhood, I mean, it's a harsh reality for the kid. Yeah. But it's not like a constant. Like, you get some moments in there where you're like, all right, he's doing kid shit. But in this, it's just like.
And it's also like Ivan's Childhood is Tarkovsky's most accessible movie. Like, that's literally the one you should start with. And to me, there's like a sense of dread that I get from Ivan's Childhood that I just can't see. And I'm pretty sure that once I watch Come and See completely, I am going to have that same effect. But I'm ready for Come and See now. If what's it called? This is as the president is gonna get. I'm ready to watch Come and See. But I'm gonna go ahead and give Son of Saul a 9.75 out of 10. I would give it a absolute 10, but the editing was a little bit off for me. There were very sudden cuts that I think that messes up the pace a bit. But once we get past the second act and we get fully into that third act, it starts just absolutely going in already. But I think the editing in here was what's it called, at least a little bit off. But I mean, this is the first film by this director, and for you to debut with this, whew, I mean, you've got quite the career ahead of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Brad, what is your score for Son of Saul?
I'll give Son of Saul. Those last 30 minutes were just a little difficult for my eyes in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I give it a 9.25. I mean, it's one of the better movies I've seen probably this year, probably ever.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's one of those movies I am never going to watch again unless forced to do so.
Yep. So yeah, well, man, this one's gonna. I'm literally gonna watch some regular show after this. I'm watching cartoons or some shit, man.
I might go back and watch Uncorked, just see the mom die, and just be like, "Yeah, this isn't so bad."
I think I'm gonna watch Batman Begins instead of having to watch my.
I think Mask of the Phantasm is on something now.
Yeah,
Netflix.
I'm gonna watch cartoons or something, bro. But yeah, next week I'm not gonna choose another one of these movies. Next week I'm gonna probably choose like an animated film. The Japanese anime film or something, because I can't do this again. I can't.
Not two in a row.
Not two in a row. I'm gonna give myself a break and Brad a break too. I'm gonna choose probably like Tokyo Godfathers or something next week. But I gotta watch something else, man. But this has been the Saturday morning review, or if you're a patron, this is like Thursday night review for you guys. But patrons get this 2 days early actually, and I didn't get the chance to change up the graphics, so I have to. Well, I have to talk to our patrons, but what's it called? I did kind of change the tiers around, so I got to talk a little bit about that. $15, $10 tier and $15 tier do not change at all. What's it called? If you're a $10 tier, you're still an associate producer. If you're a $15 tier, you're still an executive producer. 25, 50, and 100 are the ones that changed. If you're a $25 tier member like Tony and Bryce, you are now a writer of the podcast, because you literally do write an episode by choosing movies for us to review. So you are kind of writing an episode. If you are a $50 tier, which nobody has gotten there yet, you get you are a director of the podcast. And I give you the director status because you are literally kind of manning the show in a sense. Hold on, I gotta bring up our tiers again. You gotta just love the way that Patreon is kind of handled. Sometimes it's just, I wish it was easier to maneuver this thing, but that's how the cookie crumbles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles. I'm sorry, guys. I'm literally trying to pull up our tiers. I'm going to our edit page here, but because I can't find them. So $50 tier is it's the It is our director. You get, of course, you're gonna get a shirt. You get a director. You also get exclusive one-on-one chats with us about our work. In a way, you kind of are directing in a sense, because this is kind of like the one where you can get to know about how everything works here, how we choose films, how we choose about how everything kind of works with the podcast, and you're kind of directing yourself, and you're directing your grievances about the podcast. You can direct anything you want to us about the podcast, and we get to chat with you for like about an hour on Skype if you were a $50 tier. Now, the Nerd Overlord, which is the $100 tier, which is only available to five members, 5 patrons. Nobody has signed up for it. Guys, please don't sign up for it. What's it called? I can't justify you guys paying $100 for us. But if you do want to, it's there. The $100 tier, you get 2 Funko Pops for free. It's a one-time reward, by the way. It's finally put there for anybody who's confused. And you are also
that would only be Tony.
Only be Tony, because Tony sneaked his way into a second one, which we'll get him a shirt.
I mean, he almost did. Wait, we got him a shirt. His one came with a shirt.
It didn't fit him.
Well, I can't help that. It only came in fucking large. What do you want?
Yeah. So you're a Patreon sponsor of the show, which means you get to witness everything that happens in the network by having pre-production meetings with us before we go on air. You get to be in here with us. You're a guest, but you're really kind of a sponsor. You're here watching this thing. You have the right to come in and watch with us and stuff. You're also, if you're a creator, we have the opportunity to create an ad for you, and we will literally promote your channel, your podcast, your clothing line, whatever, in our podcast. And that's only open for 5 people, for 5 Patreon supporters. And of course, you are a showrunner of the podcast on every single episode, and you get the other tiers before that. Showrunner. So for those of you who don't know, showrunner is literally the person who handles everything in the show. I mean, they're the ones who, basically are looking at everything in the show, and that's kind of what you're doing. In a way, you're looking at all the things that we do. You're looking at what movies we choose. You're looking at what movies we're scheduling for the week. Where you're looking at what we choose to discuss on the live show. And even though sometimes we don't really care about what we discuss, but
we don't give no fucks.
But the most important thing that I think that I like the most about the sponsor tier is the fact that we get to make an ad for you guys, and we literally put them in the episodes, so you guys can in at least one episode during the week, because 5 ads in one episode, that's a little bit too much. But you at least get promoted at least one time a week for your patronage.
For sure.
So I had to clear that stuff up. But yeah, so $10 tiers are still producers, associate producer. $15 tiers the executive producers. $25 tier is the writers, and $50 tiers are the directors, and the $100 tiers are showrunners. So we have that for now. So I want to say, if you want to join our Patreon, you can go to www.patreon.com/nerdcore. You can look at all the tiers, and you can help us out. We are almost at our goal of 20 patrons. So once I talk to our patrons, we will be closer to our goal. But right now we are at 14, I believe. 14 patrons?
Between 13 and 15, dependent.
13, 14, 15. It's weird how kind of Patreon handles all this stuff.
Yeah, Patreon doesn't know how to count. They couldn't count last week.
Yeah. It says 13, but on our screen it shows that we have 14 when we go into our relationship manager. I don't know how this works, but whatever.
I don't know, guys. Support us to the point where we can have our own G Fuel flavor.
If only.
Hey. You never know. We could go with the Nerdcore's Neapolitan.
I don't know.
Hey, you got chocolate, you got vanilla, and you got strawberry. You got 3 flavors. It's basically the Nerdcore's.
Mm-hmm.
He's not listening right now. He's ignoring my ass.
I'm ignoring you. But yeah, no, we gotta talk with our patrons. So go to patreon.com/nerdcore to join that and help us out. Like I said, our next goal is audio movie commentary. So if you liked what you got on Venom, you're gonna get more of that on the Patreon by getting us to our goal. Of course, the first one we do would be free for the public, but everything after that is, of course, only for the patrons. Unless we want to be nice and be like sneak peek and stuff, we can do that. But for now, it's exclusive to patrons. Nerdcore.com for everything about the podcast. You can find reviews and such. So you guys go over there and check that out for us, please. As always, I want to shout out our producers for the show. So we got our wonderful Cassie and Sarah. Well, we got Sarah right now, but Sarah's our associate producer. Executive producer, we have Shane and Grayson Barker 98 on Instagram, or Lord One Bar on Twitter. Shane, I believe, changed. He finally got his.
He changed all his shit, man.
Yeah. So what is it now?
So it's twitch.tv/XSRK. And on Twitter, it's XSRK_.
XSRK_. Okay, cool. We got to note that now. But you're the one who says that one. So our writers of the podcast are our $25 tier members, and you guys can go ahead and follow them at BrownRice96 on Twitter and Instagram and on Twitch. And then our Tony, you can follow him at the Real Nerdy Dad. Real Nerdy Dad. At Real Nerdy Dad on Twitter. So thank you to our writers, our producers, our executive producers, and our associate producers of the podcast. These shows are possible because you guys help us out, and we love you all so much. So we will see you guys next week to kick off Christopher Nolan month with Memento. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Nerdcore live show. This has been the Nerd Channel. I'm signing off. Brad, I'm going to go watch cartoons, so you send them out.
All right, Raul. Thank you for being host as always. Not for your movie choices. Thank you to all our listeners out there, all our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to all those who decide to watch us on Twitch, follow us on Twitch and YouTube. We appreciate that as well. So thank you guys for your support for all these years. What are we at? 3, 4?
3 bad boys.
3 bad boys.
In September, we will be at 4. Wow.
Man, we just getting started.
Just getting started, baby. Just getting started.
Anyways,
we're about to hit the toddlers, bro. Yeah, we're about to be toddlers.
Start walking.
Start walking. That's right.
Anyways, thank you all, and yeah, go watch something happy.
Yeah, and reminder that if we don't learn from history, we are doomed to repeat it, guys. So these movies are really important. You should at least watch them once. And after that, that is your prerogative.
Young Yoda out.